Aloha and good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here in the HNN Digital Center. We want to begin with some breaking news from Hawaii Island, where moments ago we have just learned that a suspect is dead following an officer-involved shooting. Now, the video you are looking at, we just got in seconds ago, right before the show started. We are working to gather more details, but we can report some information for you right now. Mark, what do you have?
Yeah, so here's what we're gathering so far. The shooting happened following a police chase that weaved through several communities. No immediate details on any other injuries. Now, that video we just played out, we're told that's the scene of a traffic stop on in the area of the Kailua Kona area in Palani Road. That's where everything started. Now, we also just got this information from the Big Island Police Department. Now, we are working to confirm on whether this information is related to the situation with the officer-involved shooting. But here's what Hawaii County Police are telling us. The department is searching for an armed suspect last seen on foot in the area of Highway 19 near the 40-mile marker, Lower Kalopa area of the Hamakua district. The suspect was last seen wearing a plaid shirt and jeans, 5'7", 215 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He is known to be armed and considered dangerous. Please avoid the area while police search for him and report any suspicious activity in the area by contacting 911. So this is something that is still developing, still unfolding at this time. But again, Hawaii County Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting that started in the Kona area, and we're still working to confirm if that new information from the department is related to what is happening in the Hamakua area.
Yes, and we also just heard from our team here, police say they are looking for a second armed suspect who fled on foot. So we, again, are figuring all of this out, including the timeline of everything that is unfolding right now. Definitely a lot going on over there on Hawaii Island, but our web team is working to bring you the very latest. Check your website, check your mobile app for the very latest here. We also want to shift gears now and tell you about a memorial that is happening. This is to honor the life of the 16-year-old girl who was hit and killed in a crash outside of McKinley High School.
Yeah, that is for 16-year-old Sarah Yara. Right now, family and friends gathering at the Diamond Head Mortuary. Last month, Yara was in a marked intersection on Kapi'olani Boulevard when she was struck by a pickup truck. The 46-year-old driver fled the scene and eventually turned himself in.
The incident has renewed calls for revamped safety measures along the busy highway, along the busy street, and it also has judicial leaders stepping up enforcement efforts on unlicensed drivers. Now, a short time ago, we spoke to some loved ones there at the memorial.
I was steps away from the sidewalk, and she was pretty much in the middle of the crosswalk when she got hit.
What went through your mind then?
All I could do was scream. My sister, Sarah, that's all I kept screaming.
How would you want your sister to be remembered?
Kind and loving. Kind and loving, and always forgiving.
The city was talking about installing lights there today. How did you react to that?
A little too late. They had to use my daughter as an example for now to do something about it. It's sad that it had to take my daughter's life for them to start moving. We talk about money, but can you put a price to a life? You can't put a price to a life. I think if it was in the other way around, it was their child or their family member, I think it would have been moved faster. That's all I think.
Once again, the emotions are still very raw for the family of Sarah Yara, who was hit and killed in that crosswalk on her way to class over at McKinley High School. Our team is there gathering some images from this memorial service, and we will bring you more on that in later editions of Hawaii News Now. We also have another big story happening today. The Ewa Beach man accused of shooting at his neighbor appeared in court this morning.
That's right. 38-year-old Maynard Milan appeared virtually before a judge this morning. He's been charged with attempted murder and firearm offenses. Police say Milan barged into his neighbor's apartment in Ewa Beach with a gun Tuesday night and shot 3 men, leaving one of them in the intensive care unit. His bail is set at $1 million.
A recent string of grounded boats off Maui shorelines is stirring up some tension over on the Valley Isle.
I live right here and all these boats come in every single day. You should have known better.
Lahaina area residents say they've been complaining to the DLNR for years that boats moored offshore are a hazard and often run aground during storms. 2 boats broke free from their moorings earlier this week and ended up on the rocks, with at least one confirmed to be now leaking fuel.
The coral reef in front of Mala, that's a popular fishing ground. That's where people go to harvest limu. It's our ice box, and it's been impacted time and time again every time there's a Kona storm. And these boat owners haven't learned their lesson in the past.
One of the boats were pulled out yesterday, but the second one remained firmly grounded. The DLNR says the boats were in a designated mooring area. As for the fuel spill, state officials say they are aware of it, but it's unclear just how much fuel leaked into the ocean. Some people we spoke to said they could see and smell the fuel over 100 yards away from where the boats were. Yesterday, we also learned new details into the damage caused by the yacht that ran aground at Honolulu Bay. The DLNR says 120 coral colonies spanning nearly 20,000 square feet were damaged. The vessel also caused deep trench-like scars on the ocean floor. The narcoal was stuck on the reef for about 2 weeks before it was finally towed out and eventually sank in about 800 feet of water, and that's where it still remains. Well, after a number of deadly or near-fatal traffic incidents around Oahu, prosecutors are pledging to get tougher on unlicensed drivers. Our Daryl Huff reports.
No one knows how many drivers are going without licenses, but we do know that 2 recent fatal crashes are blamed on chronically unlicensed drivers with a history of recklessness. Brennan Kuneme is charged with manslaughter for the deaths of Ron and Michelle Hartman in Kahuku, and Mitchell Miyashiro is suspected in the hit-and-run death of Sarah Yara last month.
I was amazed why this guy is still driving. Amazed why he's not behind bars.
Both drivers avoided jail for their prior offenses because of plea agreements offered by the Honolulu prosecutor's office, apparently because of backlogs in traffic court due to the pandemic's court closures.
There was probably a culture that developed in the traffic court where these kinds of cases were just settled and didn't go to trial or didn't bring about any kind of significant penalty.
House Speaker Scott Saiki said the law already provides jail for repeat unlicensed driving, and after meeting with court officials and prosecutors, he expects it will be used.
Sarah's family should know that I think there will be a reset within the prosecutor's office as well as within the traffic court to be more proactive in dealing with these kinds of cases.
Although it would be up to his office to review driving records before charging, prosecutor Steve Alm has repeatedly refused to be interviewed about plea agreement policy. But in a statement, his office said the department is discussing appropriate sentences for criminal traffic offenses, including driving without a license. We are considering asking for jail time for some repeat offenders. Public defenders say the focus should be on the worst offenders.
Just to have a blanket, this is what the deal is and that's it. For everybody, it's simply not fair. And that's what it'll cause the backlog from that.
Supporters of a crackdown hope that it will actually deter unlicensed driving and free up the courts and prosecutors to focus on the drivers that need to be removed from the road. Reporting from Kalihi, Daryl Huff, Hawaii News Now.
In national news, Congress unanimously passed the COVID Origins Act. It requires the Director of National Intelligence to declassify as much information as possible on the origins of COVID-19. It also seeks any possible links between coronavirus and the Wuhan Institute of Virology. It passed with a resounding 419-0 vote and now awaits the president's signature.
Authorities say a gunman shot and killed 6 people in a rampage at a Jehovah's Witness center in Hamburg, which is Germany's second largest city. As police work to determine a motive, they say the suspected shooter took his own life during the attack. CBS's Tina Kraus reports from London.
Forensic investigators collected evidence at the scene the morning after a gunman opened fire at his former Jehovah's Witnesses congregation in Hamburg. Authorities are still searching for a motive in the attack that left 6 people dead before the gunman apparently took his own life. A woman who was 28 weeks pregnant lost her unborn baby. She was among 8 wounded in the rampage that shocked Germany, where mass shootings are rare. Officers reached the prayer hall as the attack was unfolding. This man, who took video of the scene with his phone, says he heard at least 24 gunshots before a long pause and then one more. A police unit specially trained to deal with rampages and terror attacks were among the first on the scene. Officials said they likely prevented more casualties. Authorities say the suspected gunman was a 35-year-old German national identified only as Philip F., in accordance with rules for naming suspects. Police said he had left the congregation voluntarily, but apparently not on good terms about a year and a half ago. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Only our cameras were there as 5 women were booked after they were arrested for allegedly trying to smuggle illegal drugs into correctional facilities on Oahu. The state public safety department says it arrested Annette Garcia, Tiffany Fountain, Michelle Soto, Kimberly Cambra, and Catherine Sani Wong. Investigators say 2 of the cases involved so-called drug paper, where a controlled substance is soaked into a sheet of paper, which is then used for a letter that's mailed to a correctional facility.
We screen all mail that comes into the facility, so our staff were very alert to the different textures of paper, the smell, the oily feel, if something looks a little bit off. That initially started the investigation.
In one case, investigators allege Soto, seen here leaving the sheriff's office after being booked, supplied Canberra with drug paper which was then mailed. The letters and packages were intercepted by corrections officers, and we're told more arrests are expected.
Well, a new report shows the U.S. jobs market remains strong, but the positive news could actually be a double-edged sword as it could lead to higher interest rates. Willie James Inman reports from Washington.
Restaurants and many other industries continue to bring on more workers. The Labor Department says overall the economy added 311,000 jobs in February, nearly 100,000 more than expected. The unemployment rate rose from a 53-year low of 3.4% to 3.6% as more Americans started searching for work.
They're coming off the sidelines. They're getting back into the job market.
On balance, I think this is a good jobs report, but it may be a little too good for the likes of the Federal Reserve.
Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says that's because the Federal Reserve has been raising interest rates to slow down the job market and economy to ease inflation. Earlier this week, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell told Congress the board will continue to raise rates.
Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone.
The Fed's strategy is having an effect on certain aspects of the economy, including businesses that lend money. Bank stocks are taking a hit on Wall Street, especially those that offer loans to tech companies, an industry in the midst of layoffs.
I was part of the Meta layoffs this morning.
Alejandra Hernandez lost her job at Meta in November. She's documenting her job search on TikTok, and it hasn't been easy.
I do try to submit around 5 to 10 applications a week.
I'm also a professional event planner, giving tips and advice to everybody getting married.
Hernandez started a wedding content side hustle. She's hoping to expand that business even as she seeks out other opportunities. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
On Kauai, a public hearing will be held on a proposed utility rate hike. The Kauai Island Utility Cooperative has proposed to raise rates by nearly 9.5%, or about $19 a month for the average customer. It is the first proposed rate increase in over a decade. If approved, the increase could take effect later this year. The hearing will be held on March 28th at 6 p.m. at the King Kaumuali'i Elementary School cafeteria. And now for a look ahead at what's happening this weekend, here's Billy V.
Thank you very much. Coming up this weekend, we talk story with Honolulu Police Department officials on their latest cases and how you can help to get them solved. Our Hawaii News Now film critic does Terry's Take, but this weekend he'll be in our studios to give us an upcoming preview of the Oscars. And Kamehameha Sundays returns to Iolani Palace. The gates open at 8:30. The tours start at 9. This is where Kamehameha can come down for free and enjoy a tour of the palace. They can see what else the Iolani Palace has to offer, as well as there'll be a few food trucks there with items for sale. Kuana Tours Kahele will be performing, and of course I will be your MC. There'll be lots of activities for everyone. Kamehameha Sundays coming up this coming Sunday. Don't forget, this weekend, 7 to 9 a.m., Annalisa Burgos and myself brings you Sunrise Weekends on K5. Now back to more with This Is Now.
Well, a major event is happening this weekend here on Oahu. It is the grand return of the Honolulu Festival. So many things will be happening. For more on this, let's turn it over to our Casey Lund.
And it was a tough 4 years for so many people that absolutely love this annual event, an important event, not just for Hawaii, but really our entire region. And now that it's back in person, they've added a few things, including the Sake and Food Fest, but that is truly just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to all you can see, experience, and hear at the 27th Annual Honolulu Festival. The Gorin Cultural Immersion Group from Sydney, Australia, the Sophia University Cheerleading Squad from Tokyo, and a Sugaro Shamisen Club from Waseda University. Just a small preview of what we enjoyed on Sunrise this morning and a taste of what the Honolulu Festival is all about.
This is the premier cultural festival in Honolulu, and it brings together so many people from all over the world even. And this year we're so excited to have people from groups from Australia and Taiwan and Japan, of course, and even Canada.
Longtime organizers like Lenny Ajima are elated it's back in person, as well as the cultural performers who come here from all over the world.
It's a really big honour, number one, to represent our people and Australian First Nations culture, but also to be part of the festival is really good because it kind of celebrates First Nations culture and cultural practice all around the world.
Today, the festival began with educational tours. Students and festival team members also had the chance to throw Genki balls into the Alawai Canal. The Genki Alawai project claims the small mud balls have microbes that help clean the water in the canal.
It's a wonderful ceremony to begin the festival and begin our effort to contribute back to the community for sustainability.
Festival President Tetsuya Ted Kubo says the festival celebrates all Pacific cultures and even those beyond. But there's no secret, the return of this festival could mean good things for the future of one of Hawaii's top tourism markets.
We are trying to have this festival as a catalyst, and then so that it could bring more tourists and customers.
Well, the entire festival is free this weekend. Don't miss the grand parade and fireworks show over Waikiki to wrap things up on Sunday evening. It truly is too much to mention in this story. So for all the details, the schedule of events, you can go to hawaiinewsnow.com. Look for this story for all the details. Reporting at the Convention Center, I'm Casey Lund. For now, we'll send things back to you.
Thank you so much, Casey. We're going to give you guys a live look. This is out overlooking New York City. It looks like it's a rather rainy evening there, rather. A lot going on in terms of our island weather. We will be getting to that in just a moment, but we want to go back to that breaking news situation that we told you about at the top of the show. We have some new information. We've been tracking this. One suspect was killed by police. Another is on the run. We're told police are searching in the Hamakua area, and we also know of some road closures happening as well.
Yeah, so this is a very active developing situation. So from what we've gathered so far, this is essentially one massive situation that is spread throughout two big regions on the Big Island. So we'll start with what's happening right now. An alert from the Hawaii Police Department. Police are searching for an armed suspect last seen on foot in the area of Highway 19 near the 40-mile marker, Lower Kalopa area of the Hamakua district. The suspect was last seen wearing a plaid shirt and jeans. He is 5'7", 215 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He is known to be armed and considered dangerous. Please avoid the area while police search for him and report any suspicious activity in the area by calling 911. So police are searching for a suspect in the Hamakua area within the last 20 minutes or so. We have confirmed that the search that is happening for the suspect is related to the situation that is happening in Kona, the police investigation underway, which has shut down both lanes of Palani Road between Henry Street and Queen Ka'ahumanu Highway. Police are advising residents to avoid this area for the next several hours while an investigation is underway. Again, an officer-involved shooting on the Big Island, an investigation that is now stretching from Kona all the way up to the Hamakua district, an investigation happening in the area of Palani Road and Queen Ka'ahumanu Highway in the Kona area. The search underway for another suspect who is believed to be on the run in the Hamakua district.
Thank you so much. Yes, again, we are tracking all of this, and we will be putting it on our H&N mobile news app. So go ahead and download that to your phones right now. But we're going to give you a quick look at your island weather in the meantime.
Let's go ahead and get you your forecast. First of all, Honolulu, Maui, good morning. Here's what you can expect for the next couple of hours. Clear skies right now. West-southwesterly winds at about 6 miles per hour. Still cold. It's still 65 degrees on the island of Maui. You'll warm up over the next couple of hours. By the time you hit noon, 2 o'clock, you'll get some cloudy skies. Maybe a few sprinkles, but not really that much. So it should be a good day for you. And by the time you get to the overnight hours, you'll have some clouds, but you'll also have some clear skies as well. So it's going to be real nice. Real quickly here, your 7-day forecast. It's going to be nice today through the weekend. Once we get towards Tuesday, though, you'll start to see the winds kind of pick up and change. Possible front coming through on Wednesday. First alert weather, we are seeing this, and we will also be tracking that as we go through the weekend.
Well, tonight's the night the voices of Kapalama gather for the 103rd annual Kamehameha School Song Contest. This year's theme is about the Hawaiian paniolo, and Mahealani Richardson introduces us to the junior class.
Along with musicality and Hawaiian language, Kamehameha students must understand the meaning behind their songs. So the 3 junior directors went on a huaka'i, a trip to Waimea, to meet real paniolo Hawaiian cowboys and learn about their lifestyle and music.
My song is Waimea Cowboy, or also known as Kila Kila Na Rough Riders, and talks more about the Rough Riders of the Waimea community.
1, 2, 3. Taitea Sunaoka is the junior co-ed director.
Song contest is really important to me, as it is, I think, one of the best ways and one of the most unique ways that we can perpetuate our culture and perpetuate our language through these mele.
Junior men's director Logan Ledesma is getting into the spirit.
A paniolo's lifestyle is very free. So we really try to capture how free range it is and how, giddy up and weehaw.
And Sela Franda will direct the junior women, who'll show the softer side of these rugged cowboys.
This paniolo was in a relationship and then it went south. So it talks about his journey of love and loss.
From the ranch lands to the stage, it's a paniolo journey and a ride of a lifetime.
It's a blessing to be able to represent such a special group of people like the paniolo, and they're a very special part of Hawaii.
All right, mahalo nui to Mahealani Richardson. Just some excellent work all week long, tracking song contests. So the broadcast is tonight at 7 o'clock. She's hosting, so tune in tonight on K5. We're tracking a lot this afternoon. Go back to that breaking news situation which is unfolding on the Big Island right now, which has led to road closures in the Kailua Kona area. A portion of Palani Road is shut down while police investigate an officer-involved shooting on Hawaii Island. One suspect is down. A search is underway for another suspect in the Hamakua area. So those in the area are asked to, just be on alert, be cautious, because the suspect is considered armed and dangerous. If you see any unusual activity, contact the Hawaii County Police Department.
Once again, we are going to be putting all of this information online on our website, so be sure to check it throughout the day.